Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and cleanly shaven digitally on your screen is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Vancouver Canucks 2024-2025 season continued. Playoff push. Jeff, we're actually doing, not bad.
If it,
What's
yeah,
going on?
we'd be doing good if it wasn't for the injuries. Speaking of the ugly, the big problem, obviously, if you missed it last week, we've lost Elias Pettersson for, well, it's saying was it 2 to 3 months before, or was it saying 3 to 4 months? I can't remember. But
I think,
well into the
yeah,
playoffs, regardless. So there is our star player, and we're going to have to get through probably, unless we can get into at least the second round. We're not going to see him again this year. And we're also starting to pile up other injuries. Lundqvist is gone for a couple of weeks. McLennan, he's only day-to-day with a minor facial cut, but he was our spare forward anyhow, so I think I'm just going to send him back down to Abbotsford, because that's probably where he was headed, and I need to maybe bring up somebody from there to fill a
I
spot
think you
for
should
one
go
game.
go after the top ability trade block option.
Seeing as we're past the trade deadline, that's going to be difficult.
Are we?
We pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
we are.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that last time.
Right. I
In
forgot.
fact, although that does remind you, let's do the thing we did last time with your game, last week with your game. Go back and do a little bit of a review of the trades we've made over the course of this game. It won't be quite as long as yours, because you've got, what, about six? You had about 6 seasons in?
Yep.
And we've only completed the 3 year, because standard game takes longer to play than historical. But just take a quick look at the moves we've made. Very first thing we did, as far as the trade goes, was sending Tucker Poolman to the Islanders to get Zdeno Chara for part of the year. And Poolman, surprisingly, I didn't really see him going anywhere with the Canucks, but he's managed to stay in the league pretty much regularly with first the Islanders,
Red
and then wound up
Flyers
going to the Devils.
says evening gents in our chat. Rit,
Pretty
how
good
do we
evening.
sound, by the way, as you're there?
Nice.
Sounding good?
Yep. The other big, and the bigger first trade we made was dumping Oliver Ekman-Larsson's contract on Calgary. And the guy we got back, Zagorodny, was an okayish prospect. He had a major injury last year, and you see he only played 27 games in the AHL. And he's had a
Just
couple of
getting rid of
brief
that
looks with
contract is
us.
worth it.
And yeah, that was the main thing there. So Zagorodny, even though he hasn't really worked out, getting rid of that 8 million, was it 8 or 8.5, whatever it was. Probably
P-Wog,
says
welcome as well.
8 million contract for Larson. Uh, he's done well, not spectacular. He's having a pretty decent year actually this year in Calgary. That's probably the best one he's had since going over there. Plus 16 and 17 points in 39 games. And it looks like he did
Okay,
sign a new contract, so they got him down to 5.2 million for the next couple of years. But
Jeff, I'm just
he's
going to pause you here for
yeah,
a
go ahead.
second. Um, Steam is just showing a black screen. It says we're broadcasting, but it says it's just a black screen.
That's odd. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill that.
yeah,
I'll have to figure that out.
yeah. There's apparently 5 people there, but
Not sure what would do that. Maybe while we did make that one change with export last week, that might have done something. Tyler Myers, another salary dump to Tampa, where he played 2.5 seasons, gradually slowing down. Looks like he's out in the beer leagues now and probably soon to retire. The guy we got, Gonsalves, we immediately dumped for a second round pick, and it looks like that was a pretty good deal because he never made it out of the AHL. He's going back and forth between the Iowa team and the AHL and the one in the ECHL this year. Okay, this one we dumped a couple of. We got basically nothing back except for some draft picks and Matthew Highmore, who's
what year was that? Sorry.
that's our first season, 21-22.
Okay, okay.
Highmore is still sticking with Arizona, not really a regular, but kind of a fourth line guy. And none of the other guys seem to have worked out, or at least are in the NHL at this point. Patan is playing over in France now. The big one
Uh,
was trading JT
well,
Miller to what were you going to say?
I was gonna say the big thing for us was getting that second round pick. We picked up multiple second round picks.
Yep. Uh, but the big deal was trading JT Miller because we didn't think we were going to be able to re-sign him to Anaheim. And Miller was probably a little bit underrated when he started this game in the starting database, so he's probably should be a little bit better than this, but he's done pretty well for Anaheim. Couple of regularly 60-point seasons and should be on track for another one this year. And Koskenvuo, the goalie, still over in Finland, never came over. Brandon Peary, one of the guys we got, I don't think we ever got much use out of him. And Jamie Drysdale, who's been sort of our number 3 to 4 defenseman pretty much since we got him. Hasn't really, I'd like him to produce a little bit more, but I mean, his goal total's been in double digits for 3 years now. So not bad, but playing behind Quinn Hughes kind of limits how good he's going to get, or at least the number of points he's going to produce. Then we dumped Chara on. Looks like that was the trading deadline there on the 24th of February. Dumped Chara to Boston so he could wind up his career there, which I think he did. Yep. 26 games, and we at least got a fifth rounder out of it. So that was basically a fifth rounder for Poolman, which probably doesn't amount to a very good deal from our side because Poolman's been a pretty regular NHLer, and I doubt that fifth rounder turned into much. And this one
will never happen. I'm just going to point that out right now.
The last one, Florida, we wanted to try to keep Yaroslav Halak going, but he retired right after they traded him. But the guy we got in return for him, Max Gilden, I don't think he ever played for us. Yeah, 1 season in Abbotsford, and he's sort of on a downward trend. ECHL the following year, and the SPHL this year. So he's gradually playing his way out of hockey. That was the first season. Second year, we got Provorov from the Flyers, who we just recently traded to Montreal.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause you here for 1 second because I was going back to look at something here.
Yep.
So in our first draft, we took Brad Lambert first overall.
Yeah.
Second overall was Keaton Dowerchuk. Third was Alexander Suzilev.
Okay, so Suzilev's still a very good prospect. He played for us a little bit this year, and
he was a fourth round pick too.
Dehanek is on Abbotsford right now, I think, in his first year.
Then we have a Finnish goalie playing in England, who's 20. The guy whose name I can't say, who's on the Abbotsford. John Dalton, who's in the FPHL, who I guess hasn't really turned out. But Liam Arnsby was actually our 7th round pick that year.
And he's played for us a little bit this year, so Arnsby yet again surprises.
What I was just going to point out was he was up 100.
3 times we picked Arnsby in a game like going back to the last 3 versions of FHM.
Yeah, so 199th overall.
Yeah.
We selected him, and he got selected 214th in this actual NHL entry draft. So.
Yeah, the real NHL draft this year. Florida took him, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow, we got Provorov from the Flyers for the rights to Nikita Tryankin, Zlodev. So basically 2 guys that never left the KHL that the Flyers couldn't get out of there. The third rounder is the main thing, and Matt Thiessen, who's pretty much played 1 game after his college career ended and seems to have retired after that, or at least isn't signing anywhere. Let's see, a couple of basically, the rights to 1 Russian guy and swapped a couple of picks with the Islanders. It's not really anything. Philippe Myers, who we picked up from, who was it? Philadelphia, or no, Nashville.
Philadelphia.
Nashville on waivers.
Okay.
And he was 5th defenseman for a little bit for us, and then traded to Arizona and got Kyle Capobianco. I think Myers wanted too much money to renew his contract.
Yes, that sounds right.
So we got Capobianco, who's done basically, he's been our 6th defenseman for the last couple of years and has done a pretty steady job. Hamonic for Christian Krieger, who we originally flipped for a 6th round pick.
Which actually worked out.
Yeah, Hamonic didn't really do much. Yeah, never actually played for the Islanders. Just a little bit in the AHL. So he was done by that point.
He's still playing.
Yep, in Italy.
Yeah, I'm just going to go over the draft picks here again really quick. So this draft has actually set up the team fairly well because our first round pick was Tyler Peddle, who's got 38 points in 58 games for us this year.
Yep.
Second round pick was Andrew Cristal, who is still in the dub, but he's an over point per game player. He's 2.5 stars, 3.5 potential. Then we have Otto Stenberg, who is 2.5 star talent, 4-star potential in the third round.
Yeah, may wind up being a sleeper pick.
Yeah, we took a Russian defenseman, Mikhail Guliev.
Guliev, who's also pretty highly rated.
Yeah, 2.5 star, 3.5 star potential.
And he played a little. I think he's actually played a little bit for us this season.
And we took another player who's currently in the KHL, but Christopher Janis Krumens, who's 2.5 star talent, 3.5 star potential again through the fourth rounds. Took a shot on another Finnish goalie, Cameron Mercer, who's probably going to be a player for us at some point. He's 2 stars, 2.5 potential, center right wing. So even if he's depth, he'll be pretty good. Defenseman Blake Ekren Bratton, 2.5 star potential, and seems to be putting up a decent amount of points in the dub. And then sixth round was another Russian, Valentin Zugin, 2.5 star, 3-star potential on the Abbotsford right now, who's playing pretty well. And 2 7th-round picks, Hugo Hell, who may not turn into anything, but great guy to have in the organization. And Carter Kowalchuk, who, again, defensive depth, which you can always use more of.
Yep. And on to the next year, we dumped William Lockwood onto the Flyers, I think. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's done anything with them. Played a little bit in the AHL and has gone on to the low minors. We only got a 7th rounder for it. And same thing, Sheldon Rample to the Kings. Got a 5th rounder. David Levin, we picked up as minor league depth, sent him to Montreal for a 7th rounder. And Phil DiGiuseppe just collecting low round picks for guys we wanted to dump. Then we made a big one. This actually worked out really well for us because Niels Lundqvist had a big first year with us after coming over from the Rangers, 50 points in 80 games, and he's playing well again this year, although not quite as productive. Main piece going back to the Rangers was Jack Rathbone, who started a little bit slowly, but seems to be coming around for them. So that may work out all right for them. And Aidan McDonough, who... Oh, actually, the Rangers didn't sign him, and he wound up signing as with our farm team in Abbotsford directly to them, not with us. Tanner Pearson, we shipped out to Calgary for Jacob Pelletier. Pearson, how's he done in Calgary? Oh, man, yeah, actually pretty good first season. More productive with them than he's been with us. He'll get 40 plus this year. So he's still going in his early 30s. Yeah.
Well, when you're done looking at, you need to look at our first round pick from this past year.
Yeah, I will in a sec. Jacob Pelletier's hasn't really found a permanent spot in the lineup yet. Production's gone down a little bit from his first year, so he's still got potential, but he needs to develop a little more quickly. Cal Foote dumped into Seattle for Thomas O'Mara, who's I think a Czech player. Yeah, came over and is playing the AHL this year. Foote is up and down between Seattle and the AHL. Mason Appleton, another trade with Seattle. This one, it looked at the time we got a really good deal because we got Mason Appleton, who's been fairly steady for us. But we had dumped our backup at Abbotsford, Arthur Seelaws, who looks like he's in the ECHL this year, a 3rd round pick, and Marcus Felino, who appeared to be done with us. We signed him as a free agent after our first season, trying to add a little veteran depth, and he was okay-ish for the first year, really disappointing in the second year to the point where we eventually dumped him in that trade. Didn't really do much with Seattle for the rest of the year, but seems to have bounced back this year, 34 points in 62 games. So he's had a little bit of a comeback, and that trade looks a lot more even than it used to. Michael Rasmussen, who we picked up on waivers, shipped him to Tampa, so it looks like he's had a slightly better year with them. And we got Cameron McDonald back, who's playing pretty well in Abbotsford, but hasn't made our roster yet. Although I should take a look at that. Maybe I need to call him up to fill that spot I just created by sending Ed McLennan down. And you're saying have a look at the draft log from last year.
Well, no, I just wanted you to look at the number, our first round pick here, how he's doing this year.
Peddle or the one after that?
No, the draft after that.
Oh, so last season's okay.
Yep.
And Kivahara, yeah. We mentioned this last time. He's somehow only still showing 3-star potential, which is really surprising. But he's leading the Finnish Elite League, not like the Junior League, the senior league, as a 19-year-old defenseman and scoring 64 points in 52 games. And that's not just like a little oddity with the stat generation, because that's a fully simulated league. And look at him, he's 64 points. Ahead of other guys. Oh, there's actually an 18-year-old in there too. And his team is in first. Turku is in first place overall. So I think we definitely better bring him over next year. I mean, he's probably better than some of the defensemen we've got right now.
That's what I was thinking. Looking at stats, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he took a huge step forward in during the season.
The depth charts he's showing as our 4th best defenseman right now.
Yeah, I believe it. He'll be ready to play next year for sure. We can't sign him right now, but as soon as the summer hits, we're going to get him. Then this year's, I think that was the end of the. Yeah, that was the last of the picks from that season. We've been pretty busy this year. Deadline or July 1st. Dumping a couple of minor leaguers for late round picks. Although Kuokkanen is playing regularly for Calgary, it looks like. Jason Dickinson sent to Philadelphia. He had a major injury last year, and we got him back. We only had him for 15 games at the end of the season. But he seems to be bouncing back okay-ish, although I think he's lost half a star. He had, I'm pretty sure he was 3.5 stars when he was with us. And the guy we got back, Reed Anderson, 19-year-old defenseman, I think the Flyers probably rushed him last year, but he had a pretty good rookie season for them. And he's doing pretty reasonably well this year for us as well. Almost thought about sending him down to the WHL after playing a full season in the NHL, but I think that's worked out for us keeping him up. Hampus Lindholm, who we'd signed as a free agent, sent to. Well, he's trading to Carolina, but he wound up in Chicago. How did that happen? Actually, he didn't. The Carolina released him out of training camp, and we only got a 5th rounder for him. I think that was mostly a salary dump. So it looks like he wasn't going to make Carolina, and they wound up. I'm wondering if it might have been a mutual release with them, just letting him out of his contract, and he signed with Chicago. Just a small deal for a pick there. Then this one actually may turn out really well for us. We traded Niels Höglander. We had an excess of good young wingers, so one of them had to go, and it turned out to be Höglander, who's showing 3.5 star potential still, and 3 stars right now. I think that's slightly better than when he was with us. And he's heading, but he's producing about the same level for New Jersey that he did with us. So 21 points in 48 games, but we got their 1st rounder out of them. And at the time, it was looking like a potential lottery pick, although New Jersey has improved quite a bit since then, and
we'll still take a top 15
overall. Pick. Yeah, I mean, it'll still be a reasonably high 1st round pick. So I think that's going to work out okay for us in the long run. And then here, Tyler Mott dumped. Sure traded a lot of guys to Calgary, haven't we? Sent him to Calgary.
Calgary, one of them.
Yeah,
this goes back to the San Jose one when we traded Brent Burns to Calgary.
Yeah, that's right. True. He's actually having a pretty good year with Calgary. 17 points in 28 games since we traded him. We did get a third rounder for that, but I hope that doesn't come back and burn us in the playoffs if they make it. And then just at the trading deadline a few weeks ago, we traded Provorov for Kalen Lind, who's had a pretty good few games with us. Basically, a veteran defenseman for a prospect. Because at this point, I'm a little hesitant about being too optimistic about the playoffs this year with Pedersen gone. So
Yeah.
it helps us to get I think it was a good deal to get the young prospect for Provorov, who was going to be too expensive to re-sign anyhow. And then we did pick up a young, solid defenseman, Jake Sanderson from Ottawa, for a couple of minor leaguers and a few picks. And he's playing in Abbotsford right now, but he may be with us next year. Now, getting back to the game, I got to call somebody up, and I think that is... Yeah, probably going to call up Mcdonald, the guy we got from Tampa. I'm not sure if I'm going to put him directly in the lineup yet because Horvat is only injured day to day. He's 55%. We've got a couple of days, so I'm going to go ahead and continue, and we'll get to our next game. And I think hopefully Horvat will be healthy by then. And right now we should take a look at the standings to see what place we're in. Well, I know we're in second place, but... 4 points up on Calgary. Oh, geez, we are going to wind up playing them in the first round. Seattle looks pretty solid in fourth. And it's a big drop off. Yeah, and we're 6 points behind the Oilers. So fairly likely we're finishing second unless something significant happens in the remainder of the season. And the Capitals just fired... Jay Pandolfo is their head coach and named Jared Bednar as his replacement.
Interesting. Very interesting.
McDonald wants 61, and he can have 41. Not happy with that, but too bad. That's Morgan Frost's number. And yeah, that is accurate. You see up here, the defending champions are the Islanders, who I think are in, last place overall this season. So total collapse from them after an upset win at the Cup. Brent Burns apparently thinking about retiring, and we got Arizona here.
Red Flyers, everything is always going very smoothly.
Horvat's at 73%, but I think I'm going to be okay with one game like that. Going to start Demko. And we get out with a 4-3 win. Reed Anderson with 3 assists. Yet Edmonton is still maintaining that 6-point lead on top of us. Horvat is almost back. Kings and Dustin Tokarski, who's still playing in the AHL at 35, apparently, have gone their separate ways. Okay, Horvat and Appleton both looking ready. Adam Ruzicka, waived by Calgary, but not interested in him. And we'll give both goalies actually getting pretty hot. Demko's up to 3 stars, but DiPietro's been having a great year, leading the league in goals against average, and comes up with a 4-1 win over Arizona there. And Horvat, who is healthy again, gets first star. And Horvat, who is, we were a little worried about him. Was it last year or the season before? He hadn't been productive in our first couple of years. But then it seems to have turned it around since then. He's actually playing on the first line now with Pedersen out and doing a fairly good job of it. Andre Palat on waivers. I think we've seen that before. He's basically washed up at this point. Unless you wanted to keep him around as a defensive forward.
I think we probably got enough of those.
And let's see, Appleton not quite ready yet. Lundqvist doesn't seem to be making much progress. Oh, Pedersen is down to 1 to 2 months now. So, some grounds for optimism there. And we keep winning, 3-2 win. Brad Lambert gets a couple of assists and the first star over Dallas. But the Oilers keep winning too and still 6 points back of them. Okay, Mason Appleton is healthy now. Where did we have him? Oh, I think that's where Novak was. Oh, no, Horvat's hurt.
That's not good.
How did Novak do in that little stretch with us? 1 point in 4 games. Horvat, just a bruised thumb. Okay, I'm going to put Mcdonald in for the next game, but I'll swap him manually on the line screen before we are on the pregame line screen, so it's not a permanent change, just so he doesn't play on the first line that next game. We've got LA coming up next, and I think I'm probably going to split down between DiPietro and Demko in the remainder of the year. And we will try Lind in the first line spot. And we just barely get out of it. 6-5 overtime win over LA. Oh, Mcdonald, first NHL game, pretty good 73 game rating, 2 assists. And was he one of the stars? Yeah, 3rd star.
Nice.
Fairly good debut from him.
Nice.
But watch, Edmonton will probably have won again. Yep, they're just 71 points, or 91 points to their 97. They're just not giving up any ground at all. Kyle Connor about to hit 100 points. And the Jets are having a fairly good season too.
Yeah, after a bad last season of memories.
And even the start of this year wasn't great for them. Okay, Horvat is nearly ready, but we'll let him heal up all the way. Yeah, 5-2 win over San Jose. Morgan Faust with 3 points.
Nice.
McDonald doing this one. Not quite as good, but 3 shots and a decent game rating. A pretty good win streak going, but geez, you know, Oilers win again. Still 6 points ahead of us, although we're now 10 up on Calgary with 10 games to go. So I think we're solidly in 2nd place right now. And I think we're 5th overall in the league. Rangers leading the league.
I mean, there's only so much you can do sometimes.
Just Yorkin with 45 wins on the season. Okay, Lundqvist allegedly getting better. Oh, he's day-to-day now. That's better. And although Horvat is still day-to-day as well. And what did I see? Oh, New Jersey. Thought it was Edmonton for some reason. Ty Smith gone for 5 weeks. And Lynn's still on the first line. DP for the start against Washington. Keep the winning streak going. Yeah, 7-0 blowout win over the Capitals. Brock Besser with 4 points. And Morgan Frost, who seems to be heating up as we get closer to the end of the season, and also has been getting more playing time with Pedersen hurt. He moved up to the 2nd line after Horvat moved up to the 1st. He's been a star in the last couple of games. And either the Rangers or Capitals up next. Hopefully it's, or Rangers or Islanders up next. Hopefully it's the Islanders. Horvat's still not quite ready.
You should check on
Rangers.
Pedersen to see if he's changed again in the last week.
Yeah, do that in a sec. And we come out, finally lose the winning streak. 5-2 loss to the Rangers. Didn't even get a star there, and we got, no, we outshot them 38-35. Just couldn't put anything by the goalie. Oh, I'll check that in a second. Wait, what did you want me to look at?
See if Pedersen had changed at all.
Pedersen's,
Actually,
yeah.
wait. Do me a favor, Jeff. Just look at Detroit's team for a second.
Doing reasonably well. 86 points. And what am I looking for?
Are they not over the cap?
Nope. 84 million salary, 85 million.
Yeah, that's team salary cap, though.
No, that's what. That's the amount they have to spend. Because they probably
what
had they had saved money from earlier on in the season when they were under it.
Okay.
See, ours is at 95 because we were quite a bit under the cap.
Well, we dumped off all those big contracts, yeah. Okay.
Okay, Lundqvist and Horvat still day to day as we play Montreal tomorrow. Let's see, we lost and the Oilers finally lost too. I'm going to give DiPietro the start against Montreal, and I really wish Horvat would get back soon. And we just get out of that with a 4-3 overtime win. Oh, they put up 48 shots on us. That's not good. Seven games to go in the season. We are not going to catch up to Edmonton. Although we are within 4 points now. Okay, our Horvat and Lundqvist back. Horvat is, Lundqvist isn't quite ready in the injury list. Pedersen's still showing 1 to 2 months. Alex Cotton, who we lost to a ruptured finger tendon a little early in the season. He's probably our 7th defenseman. He's going to be back in 2 or 3 weeks. And in Toronto tomorrow night, so we finish out March. And Lundqvist is healthy, that's good. Still, the American goalie is listed as the top overall pick for next year, according to our scouts. Oops, no, I'm healthy now. I can change the lineup around. Okay, so Walker comes out, Lundqvist goes in. And I think that's probably going to have to be, yeah, Mcdonald coming out. And yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. I don't know. Not sure why I would have Guliev on the first pair. In fact, do I even want Guliev in the lineup? Yeah, actually, he's been doing reasonably well since we called him up. We'll leave him in. So healthy, relatively healthy lineup against the Leafs, other than Pedersen being gone still. And that's not good. 8-5 loss. John Tavares with a hat trick. They beat us up pretty good. Lundqvist, terrible first game back. -3. Quinn Hughes was -4 despite having 3 points. Let's try to put that behind us. And still exactly 6 points behind Edmonton. They lose when we do, and they win when we do. Oh, and the Leafs are actually pretty good this year. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, especially that team is weird. If you look at that team,
I'll have a look in a sec. Development report. Most of the young guys coming along. Brad Lambert going up 4 points. 3.5 stars out of 4.5 now. Pretty solid job. Well, actually, his point production is down a little bit this year. That's still developing. That's good. And oh no, Mason Appleton down slightly. And budget numbers, scouting. Yeah, I'm not really saving for new arenas, so might as well throw everything towards the top end. And looks like we finally have a couple of days off here as we head into April.
oh, that explains more about Toronto. Okay.
What?
Well, Austin Matthews has been hurt.
They're doing that well with Austin Matthews hurt?
Yeah. But they only had 71 million in cap spend, and I'm like, why are they so cheap?
Oh, because
Yeah.
Matthews is on.
Matthews been on IR since November.
Oh yeah,
Only played 9 games.
No, 5 games only. 9 points in 5 games.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, and
so
they've
who's been doing it for them with him gone?
Well,
Marner's been
Ian
doing
Scott.
it. Tavares has had kind of bounced back.
Yeah, Ian Scott's been there and holding the net. Looks like.
Will, you're going to have a great year on D for them.
Well, no, okay, I guess Mrazek's been doing it.
Nylander, Leger.
But they just played a ton of rookies in on defense. Like
No, they
most
got
of their.
Slavkovsky. How'd they get him?
He's not. Well, he drafted really late in this game.
Yeah, at the end of the first round. Yeah, 26th overall. And
Again, he's only got 22 points this year, or what? I'm back at the start, but yeah.
27
they got,
points.
like-
Yeah, in this, but he's
But yeah, look
Playing
at
on a
like
fairly
Brett
deep
Howden, who went from like not playing in the minors to suddenly he's 30-point guy.
yeah, he was actually down at the ECHL at one point when Vegas had him, and how'd he wind up in Toronto? Oh, they got him for Holmberg.
But I mean, they got a 19-year-old defenseman, a 25, 22, 23, 24-year-old defenseman they're paying under $1 million.
Who's running
Those
this
guys
team?
are clearly contributing. That's not sustainable for them.
Dubas and Keefe are still still in charge in Toronto. Huh. It's interesting. See how they do.
Although
in
it
the
looks
playoffs.
like, yeah, John Tavares is probably leaving. And
No, that's why
Mitch
he's having a
Marner's
big
probably
year.
leaving. And Mitch Marner's leaving.
Well, they've got a lot of young guys. We'll see how that works out for them next season if they lose the Stars. I mean, it is
No,
the
they'll
Leafs.
lose.
It's not like they don't have the money to re-sign them.
Well, they got 20 million coming off the cap. They got a lot of guys on 1-year deals there too. Like their entire defense is 1-year deals. 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year,
Okay.
1 year.
Got to watch out in the off season. That'll be fun to see.
Even half their forwards, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year,
Uh,
1 year, 1 year. Like, Mrazek's coming up too. Yeah, what's their depth chart on goaltending? No, Joseph Wall's still their number 3. Well, they got a
playing
Russian
Pittsburgh,
who's in
where
the
Sidney
KHL.
Crosby's still hanging on. Starting DiPietro against them, and we come out with a 4-1 win. Another good game out of DiPietro. And I think we've got 5 games left in the regular season. Still precisely 6 points behind the Oilers. A lot of guys hitting 100 points this year in the scoring leaders. Okay, so they can't stay 6 points ahead of us now because we're playing them tonight.
So they're going to go up by 10.
Let's see. 3-2 overtime win for us. So it's now a 5-point lead.
All right.
Connor McDavid had a couple of points for them. But with a 5-point lead and 4 games left to play, unless that was, maybe that'll be a back-to-back. We get another shot at them. Make it a little closer. See who we got left. Oh, Alex Cotton is almost back. Yeah, well, it's back-to-back, but separated by 3 days. Edmonton, Minnesota, Calgary, and Arizona. Edmonton, where's Minnesota? Minnesota's pretty good. Calgary also good. Arizona not so good. So about an average schedule the rest of the way. And there's actually quite a bit of separation between not just the playoff teams, but even the levels between the playoff teams. St. Louis and Winnipeg is definitely going to get in, and Seattle almost. No, I think they've clinched over San Jose. Looks a little tighter in the East. And McDavid and McKinnon are tied for the scoring lead.
Interesting.
And DeBrincat, who never left Chicago in this game, is at 107. Although O'Connor is creeping up on him, and he may hit up on Draisaitl just past Connor. But Connor's got a shot at 110 points. And Kalen Lynn said he's ready to play. I didn't even know he was hurt. Must have been a very brief injury, although he's at 70% fitness. Although we got one more game before we play Edmonton. We're playing pretty well at this point, so I don't really want to move the team around too much.
You're going to move the Canucks? I like it. Move them to Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria's won a Stanley Cup more recently than Vancouver.
How would you feel about that if Vancouver just is like, nope, we're leaving Vancouver. We're moving to Victoria.
Well, I would have to take a ferry to go see them, which would kind of suck because I haven't done that since I lived on the island. And a 4-3 win, regulation time. Jasper brought 3 points, so we are now 3 points back of the Oilers. If they can blow a couple of games at the end of the year, maybe we've got a shot at first. We're going to have to do something about the goaltending situation in the off-season. As I think DiPietro is ready to push Demko out, but we can probably get something decent back for Demko. And former Canuck Michael Rasmussen apparently was suspended for something. And against Minnesota. And we get shut out 3-0. Not a great game, and we needed a better result than that right now, and I think that will kill our first place hopes. No, still technically alive, just barely. But Calgary can't catch us now, I don't think.
I think you better plan on finishing second.
Well, probably it's going to be Calgary in the first round regardless. Even if they somehow did catch us, then it's just home advantage right now. McKinnon pulls ahead of McDavid by 1 point in the scoring race. Calgary, Demko cooling off. Going to go with DiPietro in goal, and I'm leaning towards DiPietro as the playoff goalie at this point. Although he just lost that one, 4-3 to Calgary, and that will be the end of our first place chances. And Calgary is how far back of us now? See in a second here. Oh boy, only 1 point back, and they've got a game in hand. They could wind up passing us here. And they just did. That is not good. So we really need a win here against Arizona in this next game. All right. I'm not going to make lineup changes. Which goalie is... DiPietro is still much hotter. Going to give him another shot. And a 6-3 loss against Arizona. That is bad.
That's not a great way to be going to the playoffs, Jeff.
Yeah, we're going to stumble into third place here, so we lose home advantage in the first round against Calgary. And this is a really bad time for DiPietro to be cooling off. Calgary, who's got a bunch of... Oh, well, good God, Calgary passed Edmonton.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. So you get to play the Oilers in the first round.
Yeah, oh,
That'll
that's
be
much
fun.
better. Now I got to deal with McDavid. And Kyle Connor, in addition to finishing with, I think it was 110 points this year, just hit 600 points. No, 114 points. He was third overall in the scoring race. And hit 600 for his career. So let's see how the tiebreakers work out for first. I think we're getting the Oilers in the first round. Winnipeg just extending Nick Ehlers for 6 years. $7 million per, not too bad. And the award nominees, not the Hart, no Vezina, nobody for the Norris. And here are guys for the Calder's. Okay, Weissel from the Bruins had a pretty good year. He's probably the favorite. Although Annan had a good year in goal for them. Actually, 3 pretty good Calder candidates. Executive of the Year were not mentioned. Selke, nope.
Hi, Link.
Bing.
In our OOTP chat.
Let's see, did we get an Adams nomination? Nope.
Why would you get an Adams nomination? You destroyed us at the end of the year.
Yeah, apparently.
There's probably people putting you on the ballot, and then we're like, no.
Yeah, I think I killed my voting chances there. That little collapse at the end. Hopefully, see, we're just resting up for the playoffs. That's all we were doing.
Where's Pedersen at?
Still showing 1 to 2 months. Cotton's nearly back, but I don't think that ankle is going to be ready until maybe the 3rd round. I'll try swapping Bianco for Walker. And yet we do indeed get Edmonton in the first round. So Calgary, the last minute surge. DiPietro's starter. So we're going to be on the road in Edmonton. And we opened it up with a 4-1 loss. As promisingly as this season is going, I got a feeling we're going out in the first round. Oh, and I forgot to check. Did the Islanders really wind up last overall after?
It wouldn't shock me.
Oh, nope. They finished 30th. The Flyers and the Stars were wound up behind them. But still, oh, look at that. New Jersey fell off near the end of the year. And that pick is a lottery pick again. So we got a shot at the number 1, maybe. Okay. I'm going to try Demko and goal for game 2. And he comes up with a 5-2 win. And rookie Tyler Peddle, first star. And Anderson and Lind were the second and third guys, so I think Our big guys in that game were all either in their teens still or early 20s. So the young guys came through there. And game 3, obviously going to Demko again. And he comes up with a 2-1 win. Horvat first star.
All right. Not a bad way to start.
I'm just going to take a quick look at how the other series are going. Calgary's up 2-1 over Winnipeg, who I guess got the last playoff spot. Minnesota is over Chicago. Colorado close to sweeping St. Louis. And the Bruins leading the Leafs in the East. And Detroit about to sweep Florida. Okay, this lineup seems to be working. Oh, the Oilers pull out a 3-2 overtime win. And to get 18 minutes in, pull your RV. 52 points on Skinner, and he had 50 saves. So he kept him in that game. 52 shots on Skinner rather, not points. Pedal was suspended? Oh, not yeah. 2 games suspension, so he's going to have to go out for Mcdonald. What line was he on? And Pelletier will go to the second line. Game 3 against Edmonton, going to stick with Demko. Wasn't really his fault, we lost the last one. But it's a 4-2 loss, and we are in trouble now. So who do I go with in Game 6, DiPietro or Demko?
DiPietro, he brought us this close.
And Alex Cotton is off the injured list, so I'll bring him on. Pedersen finally showing 2 to 3 weeks on the fractured ankle, but it may be too late to help. As if we lose the next one, this is over. Coming up the end of April, almost into May. That's a home game at least. Quick look at the development report. Pretty good across the board, and nobody headed downhill. That's nice. Not going to change anything in the budget. And you said start DiPietro, so we will. And how does that go for us? It's a 5-2 win for us.
See, told you.
So we're at least going to get Game 7 here, and Calgary and Winnipeg are tied at 3 as well. So they're going to Game 7.
So are you going to hold Game 7 for your next stream?
No, I think I'll keep going here.
Just the ultimate tease.
No cliffhanger. Hall of Fame nominees. Any ex-Canucks, otherwise I'm going with Krieger. Okay, so Pedal is off his suspension, so replace Mcdonald with Pedal. And we will start DiPietro again since he won the last game for us. Here's Game 7. And DiPietro comes up with a 4-0 shutout, knocking off the Oilers.
Ooh.
And Winnipeg has beaten Calgary. And look at this.
As you would expect.
Elias Pettersson ready to return for practice. Since the playoffs, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put him back on the active roster right now, and we can see how close he gets. And opening game against Winnipeg, DiPietro going to continue to start. And the Jets come up with a 3-2 win. Adam.
But they're going to beat you. I mean, it's just...
I'm not losing to Winnipeg here. Sticking with DiPietro. And he comes back around with a 3-0 shutout win. And it looks like the Leafs were beaten by the Bruins in the first round, but Detroit is already up 2-0 on Boston. World Championship starting, not relevant to us because our guys are still playing in the NHL. And Demko's gone cold, so DiPietro definitely staying in. Jets with a 4-3 win. Former Canuck Nate Schmidt, first star. And
what's that? You wanted your Canucks to go play in the World Championships? Is that what you said before?
I definitely don't want that. Okay, DiPietro back up to maximum hotness. Oh, and he comes up with another shutout. So tied 2-2 after the first 4 games. So best of 3 series now, effectively. Pedersen showing day-to-day now. Could we even get him back by the end of this series? And a 3-2 win over the Jets. So we could have them on the ropes now. And Detroit knocked off Boston. And the first of those series to end.
Jeff, I saw you change it and start trying to make it so Vancouver always beats Winnipeg. That's not fair.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, can we end the series now? And we do with a 6-1 or 6-0 shutout.
Boo.
Sorry, Adam. So we're into the semifinals. Do I keep going here, or should I hold it for next time?
Yeah, I'd probably play out the semifinals.
Kind of really want to see when I'm going to get Pedersen back. Didn't even see who the other team was. Oh, Minnesota. And it looks like it's Pittsburgh and Detroit in the East. Minnesota, who they weren't that great, were they? Third overall in the Central.
And man, I can't believe I have to cheer for Vancouver over Minnesota. What are you doing to me, Jeff?
Looks like a fairly good young team, but they're beatable. We played better teams in the first 2 rounds, I think.
Gonna depend how hot their goalie is.
Pedersen is up to an orange cross, so any day now. Not going to play him in game 1, but game 2 may be a possibility. And it's a 5-2 win for us in game 1. Detroit wins the opener in the Eastern Series. Pedersen, well, we won the first game, so I'm not going to rush Pedersen back. Give him one more couple of days stretch to get back. And we get a 4-3 win in the second game. So we're up 2-0, and we don't have to rush Pedersen here. Penguins win game 2, 7-4 against Detroit. Still going to wait on Pedersen one more game, I think. As long as we're winning this. Oh, Minnesota wins at 3-2, so I think that's enough of giving Pedersen time to recover, unless he happens to get healthy. No, he does not. But he's going in. Who sets out? Oh boy, everybody's up to 3 stars. It would have been Pelletier. I think I'm going to take Appleton out. Peterson in, Pedersen in. What does that do with the AI lines? No, I want Pedersen in the first spot. How does that? Okay, that's better. So game 4 against Minnesota. Elias Pettersson's long-awaited return, and it's a 4-0 shutout win for Vancouver. Oh, I accidentally had to let Demko start that. Oops. But worked out okay, but I'm not going to do that again. I know what I did. I forgot to switch that on the main line screen. And a chance to knock off Minnesota here. Nope, 4-2 loss. So that'll go to game 6. Pedersen's still not fully fit yet. Gotta keep an eye on what is. Oh, Fittensoul's only 55. Okay, I'm gonna have to shuffle the centers around a little bit and just use him sparingly. And yet another shutout. Or DiPietro, 6-0, and that gets us through to the finals. Oh no, you're kidding me. Pedersen's injured again, and Reed Anderson. Oh great, Reed Anderson broken Mate bone.
He's done.
Out 2 to 3 months, so he's off. Please, and it's a red one. Oh, for lacerated spleen, 1 to 2 months. Come on. I was taking a risk there playing him while he was hurt. I know that, but still.
Sometimes it happens.
Just in time for the finals. Brilliant. Okay, well, might as well play the finals here, eh? I don't think this is going to
I suppose.
Last gasp for Sidney Crosby, and he gets a gift by playing us without Pedersen. 7-3 blowout loss to the Penguins in game 1. How do you lacerate your spleen anyhow? Spleen's inside you. This is gonna suck, getting crushed by the Penguins in the finals after coming so close.
Vancouver losing to a team in gold and black in the finals? That seems about right.
Don't go there. Into June.
You know, what would have helped is if Vancouver was still wearing their gold and black uniforms.
Maybe that's the secret. Okay,
Oh, it definitely is.
Game 2. 8-0 Penguins win. We're not even competitive with these guys. What is going on here? So
Sidney Crosby wants his final cup.
Yep, Bianco out. I'll try Cotton, who hasn't played in forever. Shuffle the lines, see if that helps. He's been, and DiPietro's been beaten so badly the first 2 games. I'm going to try Demko. And we went in overtime. And my contract has been extended. Game 4, Demko back in the net, and 4-2 win. Brad Lambert first start with 3 assists. But now Pelletier is injured. With 1 to 2 weeks, so Mcdonald goes in for, whoops, over there. Like, did I send somebody down? Wait, what did I do there? I got one lineup spot. Oh, because I've got put them on the injured list. That's fine. Series side tied 2-2 though, so best of 3 for the cup. Can I do it?
Who knows?
Goes staying in because he's somehow winning. 6-3 win for the Canucks. 1 game away, Adam. And you were mocking us a second ago.
I don't. You just keep flipping switches behind the scenes. That's all we know.
Yeah. Okay, game 6. Can we finish them off? Against all odds here. Demko still theoretically cold. 3-1 win for Pittsburgh. So going back to Pittsburgh for game 7. And it's so late in the season I got to renegotiate my expiring contracts on my staff.
High priorities, Jeff.
Like half my staff had their contracts in this year. 2/3 maybe, including me. Okay, here we go. Game 7. Do I start Demko or DiPietro?
DiPietro's the guy who's got us here. That's what I always say.
Okay, you're getting blamed if this goes wrong. Game 7, can't bear to look. 2-1 overtime win. Ha! Finally got a cup.
Told you. That was
Tyler
correct.
Peddle, 12 minutes in. From Frost and Lambert. Game 7, overtime of the cup, and they pull it out. Wow, we put up 49 shots on Diorio, the Pittsburgh goalie. Well, there we go. 2024 Stanley Cup playoff champions, Vancouver Canucks. And it's actually showing Demko on the pop-up screen when it was DiPietro that won the final game.
Who won the final? He won so many games in that play. He had how many shutouts in the playoffs?
It's actually showing Pedersen as well, who played all of, maybe an hour's worth of ice time in the playoffs. But yeah, I think is this the first time we've both won cups in our respective streams?
I believe so, Jeff.
Yep. So you got the one with Edmonton or Winnipeg rather in the late '90s, and I wouldn't finally get the Canucks one in 2025, 2024, 2025. So I'd be satisfied as this happened in real life. So I guess you want to wind it up there, Adam?
Sure. So thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments as well. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. On Twitter, we're at franchise hockey. We can find a link to the official Discord in our Twitter bio. And of course, you're more than welcome to come to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to official forums where you can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. And you might want to be tuning in for things because you never know what might show up sooner rather than later.
Yep, getting very close to being able to talk about 9. I've actually just got it. I literally have it running on Steam now, so we're getting very close, and we'll be starting testing imminently on the next version of FHM, and hopefully can start talking about the features right around the same time. So you may hear something within the next week or so. I'm just advancing a little bit just to get the awards ceremony, because I'm kind of curious as to who won Smythe for us.
If it's not DiPietro, it's a crime.
I didn't even look at the.
As someone said, red flyers, 6 shutouts in that. I'm pretty sure all those are DiPietro.
Yep, playoff stats: 17 games for DiPietro, 10 for Demko, 227 goals against average, and 5 shutouts. I got the Seattle line to make a trade. No, that's terrible. Where's the award? So the 29th. 5 more days, almost there. I did not expect to get a cup this year, though, particularly after losing Pedersen. It kind of makes you wonder how essential is Pedersen to this team, and should we maybe do something about that? Okay, award ceremony. McKinnon gets the Hart. Playoff MVP goes to Quinn Hughes. 17 points in 26 games, so not DiPietro.
Nah, that's wrong. DiPietro was robbed.
Fabian Lissel in Boston gets Calder. Darnell Nurse with the Norris. Selke goes to Tyler Mott, who we traded in the middle of the year to Calgary. Oops. And didn't get a great return for it either. That's looking a little embarrassing now.
Remind me, who won the cup, Jeff? I think it worked out all right.
Vezina. Brad Treliving in Calgary gets the Executive of the Year.
Well, that's because you traded him, everybody.
With the Rangers is the Jack Adams winner. And Kyle Connor of your Jets got the Bing.
Sounds about right.
And anybody else interested in the other award winners? Nope, I think. But we will wind it up there then. Thanks for coming out. We will be back next week at least with Adam's late 90s. Yeah, the late 90s now, aren't you?
Mid 90s.
Mid-late 90s Jets. Starting to make some changes in the league to keep some of the teams from moving who actually did. And Adam is continuing to try to find money for a new Winnipeg arena. Not going well so far, but we'll see what happens. So thanks for coming out, and we will see you back here in a week from now.